Sports fans, welcome. While me and DJ have been enjoying our summer, having a good time, enjoying the Olympics, we know that you guys were waiting and preparing yourself for the rest of the WNBA season. So we thank you, LA Sparks Weekly fans, for joining me, Mykell, Mathieu, and the one and only
DJ Tricey Trees.
And it is going to be so much fun tonight because we have a lot to talk about with the season right here around the corner. The games will be returning Thursday. The Sparks versus the Liberty to give you some WNBA basketball. But DJ, we are not alone, man.
We're
so
not.
It's going to be a lot of
Full
fun.
house.
So I hope y'all ready. So it's time to introduce our great and beautiful guests. Across from us, we got to start with the ladies first.
Hey.
And it's going to start with the one and only Jackie Ray. What's up, Jackie Ray?
Ooh, what's happening? Good to see y'all.
No, yeah, good to see you. So, Jackie Ray, let everybody know who you affiliated with, man. Let everybody know what you be doing.
What I do, my name is Jackie Ray. I am with Jackie Ray TV. That's where I do all my sports stuff, but I also do news for Long Beach, and you can find that at lbwatchdog.com.
Yes, and Jackie Ray does great work. And, of course, we got my guy, Edwin Garcia, who does a lot of great things, City of L.A. You need to know this, man. Edwin, what's up, man?
How's it going? Nice to be here. First time here, so really great setup. I'm like, wow, this is not like, I got my own little stuff I do with Dime, podcast on Figueroa and all that stuff. But, that's just in the convenience of my home. And here I'm like, okay, you guys got a little nice little something going on. So, yeah, excited to be here, excited to talk Sparks and keep the women's basketball going.
Yeah, so my guy Edwin, you don't just cover the Sparks, also the Lakers. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I work for Silver Screen and Roll, which is obviously affiliated with SB Nation, senior writer there on the Lakers. So keeping up with all that, we'll keep that for another time. But, as you know, basketball never stops. We got the NBA Cup already got announced, so busy with that. And, before we know it, we'll be kicking things off at Crypto Lakers only. Finally, they're peace and quiet at home.
Which is
Good
perfectly
riddance.
gold, it's love.
God dang.
It should be two basketball teams I always felt there at the Crypto, and it got to be the Sparks, it got to be Lakers.
That's
It's
right.
a purple and gold city. Stop playing with us. Then we got my guy, you've seen him before, great guest, my guy, Eric Lambkins II. What's up, Elam?
Man, what's up, world? It's your guy, Eric Lambkins II. Thank you for having me again. I guess I wasn't Poochie's last time I was here. But you can catch my work, Culver City Observer, Sporting Tribune, and coming soon, Infanity TV.
Oh, little
I
tease here.
can't wait for that one. It's going to be lit. So let's get right to it.
Yes.
DJ, the Sparks, they're back to it. But we have to give a review of what's happened so far for those people who were locked away or in a cave.
That's right.
So what's going on with the Sparks right now?
All right, the Sparks are currently sitting 5th in the Western Conference, 6-18, y'all. So we had a little bit of rough start. We had some injuries out of the gate. Lexi Brown has been away for a little bit of extended time, which we didn't account for. Also, Cameron Brink tore her ACL. So that was a tough one for the Rook. Rakia Jackson has moved up into that starting lineup.
Man, playing
Azarae
well.
Stevens is back.
Welcome back.
That's just off the top of the dome. So we got a huge promising second half of the season that we have here. But we starting hot and heavy with the New York Liberty here on Thursday.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that?
It's going to be tough, but just looking at the season so far, for all you guys, is this kind of what we expected from the team, or did we expect them to be playing much better because you draft Cameron Brink, you draft Rakia Jackson, De'Erica Hamby, who we're going to have more to say about soon.
Yeah.
She's playing out of her mind. Some players, Ari is doing some good things, but at the beginning of the season, let's take ourselves back.
Let's
Before
go
they
all the way
even
back.
tip the ball off. 6-18, you said?
6-18.
Is that where we expected this team to be? We're going to start with you, Jackie Ray.
I did not. I expected them to be probably sitting right at 8th place right about now. I expected them to be solid in a playoff spot. Part of the reason for that, though, is I trust Leja. I trust what she thinks about the situation. And talking to her early on, she was shocked about the level of chemistry that the team was having. So for her to say, hey, we have come along very quickly, and this is before they even started playing in the regular season, that kind of instilled a level of confidence in me because I was like, y'all got – because, chemistry has been a struggle. So for her to say we've got chemistry, and you can see that. You can see that in practice. You can see that on the sideline. So I was like, oh, okay, well, if Leja's feeling it, I'm feeling it. And then – wah-wah.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say Leisure because originally at the beginning of the season we had a lot of talks about Lay in those first couple of games.
Yeah.
And I think she started off really, all right, and then kind of tapered off a little bit with the new introduction of Kia
And it's so crazy because last year she averaged, if I can remember, I think it was double figures.
It was definitely
she
double
played
figures.
more off the ball with Jordan Canada being the point guard. And this year it came in and said, hey, here go the keys to the point guard spot. And it seems like that adjustment kind of threw her off. But Edwin, what's your thoughts? 6-18 at the middle of the season. Is this where you thought the Sparks would be?
Yeah, I didn't do a game-by-game prediction of what their record is, but overall, yeah, because unfortunately, once you lose someone like NECA, you're not going to get better. And then, yeah, we had a lot of promising rookies, but I was like, I don't know how good they're going to be. I assumed they were going to be pretty good. I think the part that makes it kind of frustrating is you saw so much, greatness right away. You know, Brink literally was winning games right away, game-saving blocks and all that. And you're like, oh, and then Rakia went from my goals to be, 6 women to like I'm a bona fide starter. And then you're thinking if Lexi can get it together, we can start rolling. And then, of course, the ACL gets torn. Alexi kind of gets a little bit more attention now that people know she's a shooter. Yeah. And of course, the Crohn's disease situation, she hasn't been playing. And suddenly they're back where they were. So I think overall they're just maybe a little bit away from where they want to be. But you do see the potential. You do see a really nice nucleus building. But the wins just aren't going to come because, as you know, everyone here knows, like the WNBA, every team's stacked. Like every team is stacked. So it's going to take a little bit more time and maybe a few more pieces in the offseason. But I think they're generally where they are. But I think the reason why fans aren't really frustrated as much is because they see where it's going. Yeah. And you see they're building something exciting, even if the wins aren't coming right now.
Yeah, and speaking of building, this is a word that Coach has been using. That's why sometimes I'm frustrated, DJ, is because he's not playing the young girls enough or young ladies enough, and it just blows my mind because I'm like, you don't expect to win.
Hey, and I love that we have that frustrated moment because you like, man, play the girls. But I think you got to trust Coach Kurt Miller, y'all. Okay. Because even with watching him scout for the Olympics, it's methodical. He's taking one brick at a time, and Rome wasn't built in a day, so you going to feel those moments of just, man, we were right there.
Them bricks with Team USA is a little different than what you got with the Sparks.
Yeah, so, it is, but I think to the degree of difficulty, it's very difficult to put those bricks together because that's the best player on every team. So to watch him put that together and scout against the world lets you know that he's well equipped to take the pieces that he has, the raw materials that we're working with, and improve upon them and build them together to make it a better season. Like Edwin said, we can see where it's trending.
But don't sleep on the young ladies not playing as much because that's still a learning moment.
No, yeah,
you know
of course.
what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course,
and I've started watching Kirk a lot on the sideline because he's so animated and he's just fun to watch. But you also see those learning moments. Sometimes he is frustrated when he's in that teaching mode, but that's still a moment for them to learn. And you can see the jitters, like Rakia, her getting into that starting role. And she even said, he kept telling her to play the 4, and she's like, well, I don't want to play. I'm used to the 3. Well, you need to get used. So there's that learning curve that I think you just have to sit through that sometimes. You have to take a step back and look to see what's going on. So I ain't mad at them sitting.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but it could be destroyed in a day.
Oh, here you go.
I like that answer.
No.
But
I like that.
Just to hop in, what surprised me, where did I think the Sparks would be? Exactly where they are. Okay. Just like E said, you lose NECA. You really don't have a marquee player per se, that everyone has to scout for. De'Erica has been a huge surprise for me, at least. I can't speak for anyone else.
I'm with you.
I didn't know what you were going to get out of Rakia and Cam, right? You never know what you have until they're actually on the court. But like Jackie Ray was talking about, the chemistry, that was the immediate thing that I saw during training camp that really stood out to me. I was like, oh, they really like each other. They really play well with one another.
And there are no Liz Cambages on this team.
Which I think in seasons past, if we had a Derek Fisher, if we had a Coach Fred, no diss to either one of them, this team would have fallen apart. But every single game, they're in the hunt.
Yeah. They play hard.
They play hard. And I want to say they've lost about 9 games in the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. And so, to have them prepared, mentally locked in for 3.5 quarters, only for it to whisk away in the final moments, I think it bodes well. I think Coach Miller is coaching for not only the season, but for his
job.
job.
Yeah.
So, you know, how this plays out, I think it's going to be
I'm
interesting.
going to piggyback off something you just said there, Eric, because you said we're battling in the last in the fourth quarter, in the last 7 minutes.
Don't have a
But
closer.
Before
We talked about this.
before we even got earlier in the season, we were talking about how they were slow starting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're already seeing a progression on what you're saying because the paradigm has completely shifted. We had 3 or 4 shows where we like, all right,
Hey.
first quarter we got whooped.
Hey, she's clearly the good cop because she be finding any little thing.
That just
No,
shows the progression.
it's an improvement, but you know, it just comes down to players, and that's why they haven't been able to win some of these games.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to close them. Finding a closer is big, and a lot of times I'm like, put the ball in Rakia's hands and let's see what you really have. And that's why I'm so big on playing the young players, because I'm like, you need to know what you have in Zaya. You need to know what you have in a Ray Burrell. You know, they give Lee the right minutes and things like that. But the fact that you might have Stephanie or Leisure, somebody like that taking the minutes, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Stephanie Talbot won a bronze medal.
I was gonna say, but
big shouts out to Steph Talbot.
Yes.
And Lee,
Australia
Lee
won.
dropped 34.
Yeah.
She dropped
Yeah,
34
yeah.
points.
She
from
announced
ball.
herself on a global stage.
No, yeah,
like, I'm
they
here.
got some players. So,
Are we looking at that now? Because let's factor in the
do
Olympics.
it with the Sparks. That's what I want to see.
But we've talked about Stephanie Talbot's production.
Oh yeah, she's solid. She's a solid piece.
So I'm not going to sleep on any of that.
Yeah.
To your point, though, it's one of those things where we were all in that last. I think it was the last one where Kirk was like, same thing about the closer. He was like, it just seemed like no one wanted it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something you can coach. That's something that just comes natural. You want the ball. You want to be the closer. You want to take that responsibility. But if everybody's like, oh, De'Erica's going to get it, oh, Rakia's going to get it, you can't coach that. That's something they got to work on.
Yeah, a lot of times I think the team is very passive. If De'Erica isn't necessarily going off, everyone is just kind of like throwing the ball around like, okay, who's going to take the shot? Personally, I think Rakia has the game to be a dynamic wing in the league. So I would like to see her, progress and step up. But you also have somebody who's rotting on the bench who is a bucket getter.
Who?
Zaya.
Cook.
Okay.
Let her cook.
I just
Let her
needed you
cook.
to clarify.
Let her
for me.
cook.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
put her in the game and let her see. What
let her-
Zaya is going to do one thing when she gets in the game. She's going to gun. She's going to shoot. So, in a closing,
I don't
in a
know if
situation
she
where you
fits
need a
the
closer, let her
system.
close.
But hey,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about more of that when we get to the time of talking about what's next for the Sparks. We got to take a little break, man. I'm a little parched. But so make sure you guys stay with us. We're going to have more with you as we talk about our review of the Sparks season so far.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
What's going on, Infanity TV? Welcome back to the Sparks Roundtable. It's DJ Tricey and, of course, Mykell and our wonderful guests here, y'all. Let's pick up where I left off. I want to explain, before our commercial break, I said Zaya doesn't fit the system. And I didn't mean that in a way that she doesn't fit the entire system. What I'm saying is her style of play just doesn't really match Coach Miller's proven style of successfulness. Zaya has that raw, Enrique-like street ball where she can get a bucket, but it's going to be scrappy. And I don't think Coach Miller always know where she about to go with it, so it feels like untrustworthy in that situation. So it's like, I'm not going to put you in to give you that much time because I don't know if you're going to follow the plays exactly to the team.
But she's one of those unique players that you could say roll the ball to and make something happen.
Yeah.
It can be whether bad or good. Something going to be made happen, But so let's move on from that. Let's talk about some great moments that this season has had. I know there's only 6 wins, but when you think about that, your favorite moment of the season so far, what would it be? To start it off, I'm going to say Cameron Brink in Long Beach State, baby, the Pyramid. You know, I'm an alum there. And them getting that big-time win at the beginning of the season, you kind of saw this is the impact that Cam can have. It was a game that I'm like, hey, I'm going to remember this game for the rest of the way. What's yours, DJ?
Mine is beating the Aces the second time.
That was good.
Okay.
Because the first time it was like, all right, it's a fluke. Maybe we just got good luck. But the second time just proved that in some matchups, we do have the advantage, even when people don't think we do. So it's just, as a Sparks fan, hopeful. You left that game feeling good just to watch the Aces struggle against our growing team with people out that game.
And, I should have said the Ray Burrell game when she got in late. And I got to be nice to everybody else, too. But Jackie Ray, what's your favorite moment of the season so far?
I'm a co-sign on the same thing. It was for two reasons, though. Neither of them are that. The first one is because in the pregame, Becky was like, that was the last time they won. She kind of had this, how Becky is.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. But now I could have just been reading way too much into this. But to me, she kind of said it in a way like, well, that ain't gonna happen again. And then it went out and happened again. So that made me feel really good because I love Becky a lot. But the second part of that really made me feel like, okay, De'Erica can lead this team.
Yes,
because I think she willed that team. Whether it's a chip on her shoulder or not, whatever the reason was, she has the willpower to will this team. They all kind of see her as a mama bear anyway. So when she speaks a word to this young team, she can carry them through. And that was the first time. I mean, we've been saying the whole season she's been playing at an all-star capacity. But that's the first time I saw her as the nucleus of the team, which is why – and I felt she would be because Kurt had mentioned that he wanted to build a team around her, which is why I probably wasn't – as gun-shy about losing Nneka. Nneka's one of my favorite players, but I also was one of the first people who said she should leave because she needs to go someplace where she has a chance to win. But that moment seeing De'Erica take charge of the team, I was like, ooh, we got a leader.
It was OT, overtime, so it was next level. And what's your favorite moment so far this Sparks season?
So I don't think I have one specific, but just in general, I think Rickea Jackson has been just really, really good. You talk about the chemistry. She's always on socials being a goofball and getting in there and she loves the camera. She's not shy about that. And I think just the offensive firepower she has, the energy she has. We're talking so much this year about all these rookies. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. Rickea Jackson's part of that class too.
Yes.
I'm surprised she even slipped as far as she did, and I'm glad she did it because she's been incredible. And I think that she's definitely someone they're going to build around and someone that's going to get an even bigger role the rest of this season and into next year. So just watching her play has been fun, and that's something I'm looking forward to doing this week as well.
Detroit, she representing
3-1-3.
3-1-3 in the house. So, Elam, favorite moment so far for the Sparks?
So it would be easy for me to say the second game of the Aces.
Okay.
Not for any of the reasons that, have been aforementioned, but specifically because Mykell wasn't at that game.
What?
Oh, dang.
What was that?
and we stated that when Mykell isn't here, they win.
Sorry, Sparks fans. I'm just doing my job, man. I'm there to support and give you guys a
I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go in the loss. When they played the Fever, when I saw how raucous that crowd was and how intense the team played, I think it was a harbinger of things to come. I think it's kind of a bit of foreshadowing on this team can be exceptionally good in a quick amount of time. Personally, I hope that Kurt Miller is retained because I think he is truly building something special, and that game showed me.
Okay. So this is going to be very easy for us. Before we head over to this next part of the season, who is the MVP so far for the Sparks? We can say it all together. 1, 2, 3. De'Erica.
She's the fourth most efficient player in the W.
Big Mama. That's my new chain. I'm going to try to get that going, that crypto, because, she's leading.
Yeah.
Her daughter is amazing.
Yes.
She even came on the show. So it's like there's so much that's being invested. I'm glad that we got her as a franchise player now. They already extended her contract to let the fans know, settle in. You can like her, buy her jersey. Do the thing. And like you said, she keeps saying she wants it. Job's not done. Her attitude is infectious. Every time we interview her, she like, I scored those points. Yeah. I'm still in the gym.
Yeah.
Catch me.
I need to work on my free throws. I'm going to be better. But it's like, man, you're doing so many great things. I really like what De'Erica did because she's somebody that a lot of young ladies can learn out there from. That, hey, when you work on your game, you could take your game to the next level. She saw that these last couple of years, she hasn't really been herself. So she said, I'm going to really lock in. And she did exactly that. She's come back with much greater footwork. Yeah. She's knocking down the 3-ball consistently. She's misses double-double. See, I'm more surprised when she doesn't have a double-double compared to, her having one. And she's just playing great basketball, a great leader, and that's why this team has a chance to do something crazy in the second half. So let's talk about the second half of the season.
I just want to quote K. Dot real quick. No,
okay.
I'm not going to say
Here
nothing.
we go.
But I love when you count me out. Her coming from Las Vegas, the script had been written that you can't rely on her. She's not a impactful player. But at the beginning of the season, she said there were 3 things that she listed as goals. She wanted to be an all-star. She wanted to shoot 80% from the free throw line, and she wanted at least 1 MVP vote. Now, a lot of people scoffed when they heard that, but how she's played,
she gonna get her one.
She's gonna get.
She got the all-star.
She got the all-star. It's, just keep winning. They gotta win games, but we gotta figure out how they gonna do that. So let's talk about it. Sparks 6-18. They have, a lot of tough games ahead. This first week alone, which is crazy. With you have Liberty, then you have Angel Reese coming to LA, which is going to be crazy.
Sold out.
Sold out already. Thank y'all, Sparks fans, for showing love for the ladies. And then you got the Las Vegas Aces.
Yep.
What can we expect from this team the second half of the season? And I would just start off by saying, can they make a playoff run? I believe they're 3.5 back right now.
I am so glad you asked me that, because the only thing that you will ever hear out of my mouth is the LA Sparks are about to go on the most unbelievable run to get to the playoffs. Do you believe in magic? This is your time, okay?
Hey.
We're feeling it. What happened was De'Erica Hamby went to go play in the Olympics. Lee Yuru went to go play in the Olympics. Stephanie Talbot went to go play in the Olympics. Those 3 pieces. Kia Nurse with Team Canada. So those 4 players have worked on basketball. Those were key players who were already doing well this season. The other girls were resting. Imagine going to Tulum and hanging out and then going to the gym. And then I saw them. I was on their Instagrams. I'm like, okay, I'm checking in on my girls. So you got the people who needed a little bit of improvement, nice and rested. De'Erica Hamby, she took the Epsom salt bath in Paris and was like, got on that flight and came right back. She's hungry. She's ready to get back in it. So we have an opportunity to get some upsets, to catch people slacking. Stewie and them New York Liberty, they had a bunch of people at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Maybe
you can catch them off guard. But what I did like, though, rolling over to the second half, is the game, the final game they had before the break.
Yeah.
Tuesday, the little kids are going crazy. My ears bleeding a little bit. But they played so, inspired and so hard, and they gave Seattle everything that they could handle. Just, Seattle has Lloyd.
3 more points.
They have, they have some vets over there, NECA. But, the Sparks really showed me something, and he played a lineup that I'm like, play this lineup. This is your best lineup.
What's that lineup?
Ari McDonald, Ray Burrell at the 2, Rakia at the 3, and at the 4 you have De'Erica, then Azare at the 5. Yeah. I think if he can roll over with that starting lineup, that they have a chance to do something and maybe, just maybe, make a playoff push. Tell me if I'm right, Ray. Tell me if I'm right, Jackie.
You're absolutely wrong. They are not going to the playoffs. I just got to say it matter of factly like that. Matter of fact, I think they're going to come out the gate 0-3, right off top. And I know that's not what anybody want to hear, but we're talking about the New York Liberty. Breanna Stewart, she coming back. Stewie coming back.
Sit them, man. They got to rest after that.
Okay, sit them just for you. Come on now. That's not going to happen.
Other people there. JJ, she ain't played. She could.
While that's all beautiful, that's not going to be the reality of it, and you starting it off with Chicago. Now, I know you said Sparks fans, good job for coming out to support. You and I both know it's going to be so many Chicago fans in there. And to your point, that last game with the kids, although I don't think half of them understood what was happening, but it does, as a player, when you have the crowd behind you, it changes your level of play. At the same token, when you in your house, and everybody's rooting every time Angel touches the ball and they start screaming and you done had 3 turnovers, it messes with your psyche. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, while I hope I'm wrong, I will not be mad if y'all be like, ha, Jackie, because I'm be like, sweet, that's great. But I'm saying they're going out the gate 0-3.
Okay, so before we get to it more, Edwin, Eric, because I have to hear your takes on whether you think we're wrong about picking them to go back to the playoffs. We got to take another break because I keep running out of water, man. I need more. But, hey, we thank you guys for tuning in so far. We got more for you after the break.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Welcome back, Sparks fan. Once again, I am Mykell, Mathieu, DJ Tricey right here with me with LA Sparks Weekly. We're giving you a lot so far. We talked about what we've seen so far. We've gave our opinions. We think playoffs, but Jackie Ray don't believe it. So let's see what Edwin and Eric has to think. So we're going to start with you, Edwin. The LA Sparks, can we see them in the playoffs?
You can, but you might have to go on League Pass and go back a couple years. No, unfortunately, yeah, I don't see it. I'm similar to Jackie. It's just too hard. They're too behind. They're only 4 games behind. Yeah,
4 games.
But they have 16 games to go. That's a lot of ground to cover. The only chance they have this first week, they're gonna have to go like 3-0. They're gonna have to go 4-5, which I don't see happening because again, 2 stacked. You got the Aces, you got the Sky, you got Connecticut. Yeah. You got the Liberty right away. It's going to take – it's the last chance. I think in the next 6-7 games, that'll be it. If they can get it to 2, okay, they got a puncher's chance. If it goes the other way and now we're 6-7 back, that's it. So, unfortunately, I think that they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
What you got, E?
Man, you know what? I believe that they can make the playoffs if I'm playing 2K. Because they're going to start off 0-5. Wow. They're going to start off 0-5. Now – I'm not saying they're going to get blown out. I think they'll be competitive in each game. I think they're all playing for a lot. You know, they're establishing a culture, an identity, you know, to move forward. But I just, like Edwin said, I think there's too much ground that needs to be made. Yeah.
Okay.
I look so disappointed.
I had a little hope after watching them play against Seattle. I'm like, maybe it's only 4 games. Maybe they got to see the Sky.
Yeah, they
a couple times. I think they got to see the Fever.
Carter is a little tough.
So I'm like, maybe they can knock off these teams in front of them. But
you saw coming back from the Olympic break, you saw the Liberty, Chicago, and the Aces, and was like, we got a chance.
Yeah, hey.
You said we going to win all 3 of those.
Hey, I didn't think that they was going to beat the Aces twice.
Lose. Oh, okay.
I just think that teams can mess up. Now teams are out of sync if most of your players was gone. You feel me? Like,
yeah, they got to restart.
All the Aces damn near was in the Olympics.
They tired.
You see how Chelsea Gray was running? Tired.
Yeah.
They tired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could catch some people lacking. Coach is probably energized because he's been scouting the world.
Right.
So, I'm sure he got some plays that he's ready to do.
And then I'm just expecting some of these girls to come back to say, hey, this may be my final contract in the WNBA. I have something to prove so that I can stick in this league and that they're going to do some things with De'Erica Hamby, who I believe is going to finish the season as the MVP for the Sparks.
Right.
And then I think Rakia is going to, like Edwin said earlier, by the end of this season, people are going to be like Caitlin, Angel, Rakia Jackson, and she's going to be right there because she's such of a baller. And I just think that he's going to play his death lineup with Ari, Ray, Rakia, De'Erica, and Azare, and they didn't have Azare a lot at the beginning of the season.
That's not going to be the lineup that closes.
I think that can be the lineup, but we're going to see. So speaking of these players, right? We know what De'Erica is doing. I expect her to not to do anything differently. And you know, Rakia, she's going to continue to ball and develop and get better. She may even come back better, which is scary. You know, for the rest of the W. Who's that surprise player that you expect to kind of play well to finish the season for the Sparks?
I'm going to hit y'all with something you I ain't never said this, and this is a little left field, but I'm betting all my money on Zaya Cook.
Ooh.
Reason being, she a dog.
Okay.
She not gonna back down, and I think right now her back is against the wall because the team's identity has changed. We have a new regime. She played with them last year and had Jordan Canada and was up under that kind of leadership. Now she has Ari McDonald. I think she is gonna come back and lead that second unit and kind of step up to where Lay and Kia haven't been in these past games. So I just got that feeling.
Believing in the Cook, huh?
Because that's got that South Carolina in her. Ain't nothing about Zaya Cook changed.
Yeah.
The game done changed a little bit. She's been adapting well. I think over this break, she took some time, figured out how to play her role, and I'm betting my money on Zaya Cook.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go Ray Burrell. I just think that Ray is going to get the burn in minutes. She's their 3-and-D player. She can run the floor. She's an athlete. I think that we're going, kind of like last season where she had this finish of the season that earned her this contract this season. I think this second half she's going to play some good basketball and try to help them win some games. Jackie Ray, who's that surprise player for you?
Is this my bold statement or is this my surprise?
No, are they both? Yeah, this is your surprise. Who's that surprise player that might surprise some people the rest of the way?
It just depends on her playing time, but I have been an advocate for her getting more playing time, but I'm a big fan of Liru. You know what I mean? Like I just see so much of Joker. We talked about this. I see so much Joker in her, and then to watch her. Yeah, no, it's not about being generous. It's about watching her game. Now, obviously, there's a learning curve with that, but watching her play in China, I really don't watch other teams play, but when she was playing, I was like, okay, she has a level of aggressiveness when she's comfortable that we just haven't seen yet. So watching her play in the Olympics, it made me understand she's just not comfortable yet. But when she can get comfortable, oh, you in trouble. She already said, she's like, her favorite thing is when a teammate passes the ball to her and she can finish. She wants to be that closer. She wants to help the team, and I just think if she gets the time, she's going to be that one.
Edwin, who you got? Surprise player to finish the season for the Sparks.
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like they were kind of established already a hierarchy, but I'm going to have to agree with Jackie. I think Lee's probably the one. That 31-point game against Spain was really impressive. Second most points by a Chinese player in the Olympics before. Wow. So she was incredible. And I think it's just a matter of being comfortable with so many things. She doesn't understand the language quite as much. She just literally, got off a plane, got the passport so she can go to the preseason games in Canada, and then, was kind of implemented. Now, one person's like tragedy can be someone else's opportunity. With Brink out now, there's more minutes she can play. If they're not going on that run, the positive could be, hey, maybe he gets a little more relaxed, gives her even more run. She seems like she's getting more consistent minutes. And I think also Ray Burrell, I think my prediction for her, she'll have a 20-point game coming up in this next dozen games or so. She's right there. She's been right there, and she's getting the minutes now. So those are two I'm definitely excited to see.
Okay, who you got, E?
Man, I'm going to go with Miss 4, 3, and 2. All right, she's only averaging 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Yeah. But I understand why Kurt Miller selected Stephanie Talbot over Mackenzie Forbes. And I think moving forward, as she gets more comfortable with her role, Stephanie's going to ball out. Everything I saw in the Olympics, I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. I see it. Yeah. I can see the vision. Same thing with Lee. It's for these players, I think they have to get comfortable with what Kurt is asking them to do. And for a lot of them, this is probably the first time that they've been put in a situation to do what Kurt has asked. Yeah. But once they get comfortable, like watch Stephanie, she's gonna ball out.
She surprised me. She can do a lot on the basketball court. Because you remember how I was feeling about it.
We had a huddle.
Yeah, we had a huddle. They keep this girl off the floor, but then you get on the court and she's tough. Yep. She can play big, small. She's smart. She can shoot the jump shot.
Yeah, she got good IQ.
She can dribble the ball. She makes some of the right passes. She's going to be an asset.
Well, then don't sleep on Kirk, though, because, like you said, he is scouting on the world level now. So he's working on his level of accountability. We've seen that in the post games and stuff. I think he's seen that. I think he's seen some of the reason why we haven't seen this explosion in players is because they're not comfortable. So now as a head coach, I think he's probably reflecting and saying, how can I make them more comfortable?
Like playoffs too.
Stop playing.
But, one name we didn't mention, I just got to show her love because since she's returned, the team has looked different. Azrae Stevens. I just think
absolutely.
We can see her do a lot in the second half of the year to kind of get this part to the playoffs. But all right, bold statement time. We'll go last. We'll start with Jackie Ray. What's your bold statement for the year, for the rest of the year for the Sparks?
My bold statement for the year. That's a hard one because I'm still going to probably go back to Lee.
Okay.
My bold statement of the year, I think she's going to get a big block on a big name like Asia Wilson.
Okay.
And that's going to really make herself, and then Asia's going to look at her like, got me messed up.
Yeah.
And then Asia's going to ball out. But I think that's going to really make her self-esteem go up because she's going to get that highlight reel. She's going to hear her name after the dun-na-na, dun-na-na. It's just going to make her feel good. I think she's going to have a big moment.
I like that. What's your bold statement for the rest of the Spark season?
My bold statement, unfortunately, I'm going to go a little negative. I don't think the team cracks 13 wins. So I think the most they get is 12.
Okay.
So they're at 6 right now. So I think they might get another half a dozen, but that's about it. So that's where I think it's going to go. Hopefully, just like Jackie said, I hope I'm wrong.
So 7 and 9. You think they go?
They got 16. Yeah. So they don't break 500.
Okay.
We would love to be wrong.
We would.
Of course. Of course. Just know I'm taking these notes. I'm telling Kurt about all of this.
This is on camera.
Don't be telling on us.
But Elan, what's your bold statement for the rest of the season for the Sparks?
My bold statement: Mykell Jackson, over the break, developed the left hand, so she's going to be able to go left.
Oh, come on.
But I think there is a trio of closers that are ruminating right now. And this is why I said I don't think that lineup is going to be the closing one.
Yeah.
I think Zaya is going to be the closer. I think Kurt is going to put her in at the end of games like, hey, take us home. I think Mykell Jackson is getting ready to take a huge step forward. And I think Ray Burrell.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
Bold statement. I can't wait to hear this one.
I'm toxic positive. Anybody who watched this show for longer than 5 minutes know that I got the positive side of it. But this is it for all the players. I think that each player right now is about to show us what they made of. Because nobody on the internet, everybody is believing what y'all believe. To be honest, they hear it. This not new to them. They might have believed it earlier in the season because it's like, damn, we got the slide. You know what I mean? All of these losses. But this is it. This is time to prove it. This is the time for Rays to show up. For Rakia, Azare has come back and joined. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more of Lexi, but this is it. I think we're going to see the very best of every player. They're going to grind it out all the way into the end of the season.
Okay, my bold statement, I was sitting over here thinking
kind of
about
bold,
this.
but go ahead.
But speaking of playoffs, thank you, Jackie Ray, because I think that they're going to find a way to sneak into the playoffs, I'm going to go to De'Erica Hamby.
Yeah.
And she's going to receive not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. She's going to get 5 MVP votes because they're going to be like, this girl was able to put this team on her back, putting up these double-doubles. The team around her is going to improve. Like I said, Azare, Ray, Ari, you guys are mentioning Lee. Stephanie Talbot is going to play better to where they're going to sneak in and they're going to say, hey, we have to vote for her. And if I can somehow get a vote, I'm going to vote for her 2 times.
I'm going to vote for her on the fan. I'm going to do it on the app.
Fan voting. So I think that she doesn't get that 1, but she gets 4 more than that. And she's going to have 5 MVP votes.
We need to do a documentary. Is it too late? We need to do a second half of the season documentary.
That'll be dope.
But do you think, and I'm only saying this because as a person who has, don't take this future employers, but as a person who has sued more than a few employers, do you think it's going to mess with her mind, this lawsuit that she's in?
I think that gives her fuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be so mad.
She thought I might get a
but
check.
the league,
I'm about
too?
to get paid.
Yeah.
Who cares? I don't care about.
Hey, look out for the whistle. Them refs going to be doing some weird stuff. Look out for the whistle. But they not going to be able to stop De'Erica.
I just want to ask the two of you, since we're all rational thinkers. Kiki or Paige, who are we drafting in the upcoming draft?
Kiki, yeah, we won't get paid.
Kiki can dunk. I just seen Kiki dunk on Instagram.
I actually want to go with Paige on that one.
We won't be in the draft spot to get paid.
Yeah, because in the playoffs, you can't get the top pick. There you go. So, hey, we thank you guys for joining us for this episode. LA Sparks Weekly, the Roundtable. Once again, Jackie Ray. Tell the people where they can find you.
Jackie Ray TV on all social media and JackieRayTV.com.
Edwin.
eCreates88, mainly on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all that other stuff. And then all my writing can be found on silverscreenandroll.com.
Eric?
You can catch me going viral in the Shade Room. You can catch me on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitter or X at elam2, and also on Instagram, elam5, QUARED.
And, of course, you know who we are, Mykell Mathieu, a.k.a. Mykell the PG. You can find me on your socials, DJ Tricey. We going to have more for you.
So much.
Thursday, we're all going to be in the building actually.
Yep.
For this return game, and hopefully the Sparks can make these people eat crow. But we thank you guys so much for this roundtable. It was a lot of fun. We're going to have to do this again at the end of the season so that we can discuss whether the team made the playoffs or not, and so much more. Hey, make sure you guys check in with everything Infanity TV. Hey, so much fun. We out of here, baby. You guys have a good night. We're going to have a good night as well.